Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, as we've been hearing, Mrs May needs the support of Northern Ireland's Democratic Unionist Party to give her a working majority in Parliament, and the government's chief whip is now in Belfast for talks. But what will the DUP demand in return for their loyalty, and how could any deal affect the politics of Northern Ireland? Here's John Campbell.
Political views here are firmly held and slow to change. On Saturday mornings for the last 5 years, Unionist protesters have gathered at Belfast City Hall. They're opposing a council policy to reduce the numbers of days on which it flies the Union flag, a decision they feel undermines their British identity. They welcome the DUP's new influence.
From a loyalist point of view, I think that we're in Northern Ireland's in the best position we have ever been in. You know, we couldn't have wished for anything better than a hung Parliament.
So what should they be asking for?
First off, they should be asking to stop the witch hunt against the British Army.
Just across the street, what do people think the DUP should be prioritising?
I think the National Health for the Hospital is one of the most important ones.
Mostly all schools and welfare and stuff like that. I'm pleased that they actually are going into government with them, to be honest.
A functioning executive and government for Northern Ireland, because that's what we really need. Money's great, but does it answer all the questions? No.
That we will organise massive demonstrations.
The DUP is a party with religious roots, and that continues to influence its social policy.
Storm it, hear us clear.
It opposes extending gay marriage and abortion rights to Northern Ireland. But issues like these are unlikely to feature in talks with the Conservatives.
I think the DUP's demands here are going to be overwhelmingly financial. They have a very clear roadmap, which they set out 2 years ago in 2015 when they thought they would be in this position. There's very little in that about social policy.
Those financial demands are likely to include more money for infrastructure investment. The party will not support further austerity measures like the means testing of winter fuel allowance. And on Brexit, the DUP does not appear to share Theresa May's view that walking away with no deal is a viable option. The Conservative chief whip is here tonight beginning talks with the DUP. There's a suggestion that a formal coalition could be on offer rather than just a vote-by-vote arrangement. But the DUP may be wary of that, given the Lib Dems' bad experience as a junior coalition partner. And there's a wider question here. How can a Conservative Secretary of State be an honest broker among the Northern Ireland parties if they're in government with the DUP? John Campbell, BBC News, Belfast.
Meanwhile, the government chief whip, Gavin Williamson, has been in Belfast for talks with the Democratic Unionist Party. The DUP has been at the centre of attention since winning 10 of Northern Ireland's 17 seats and finding itself the party of choice to help the Conservatives. Many are questioning what any such alliance could mean, given the DUP's socially conservative views on sexuality and abortion, as Kieran was saying. Others have said they're pragmatic and used to working with those on opposing sides. From Belfast, Andy Davis reports.
The UK Pipe Band Championships in full flow today on Belfast's Stormont Estate. Behind them, Castle Buildings, setting for the 1998 Good Friday Agreement, which the DUP at the time famously opposed. How times have changed for a party now so central to Westminster's political future.
What did you make of the DUP's sudden influence at Westminster?
I think it's a good thing, to be quite honest. It's about time the Unionist people here got out and voted.
What did you make of the DUP storming ahead like that and now having such power potentially in Westminster?
Oh, wonderful.
Wonderful.
Our voice will be heard. Northern Ireland will be heard. I feel now at last.
Less than 24 hours after DUP leader Arlene Foster lined up with her 10 MPs, the Tory chief whip was in town for talks. What role precisely the DUP may have in supporting a Theresa May government has yet to be defined. But already a petition opposing any such deal has already attracted 500,000 signatures. Why? One reason, the party's repeated attempts to block same-sex marriage in Northern Ireland, an issue I questioned their leader on last year.
You've spoken about progress. Where does opposing same-sex marriage, as you do, fit into that forward-looking view?
It's not about opposing same-sex marriage, it's about promoting marriage as it currently is, a traditional view of marriage.
But do you oppose same-sex marriage?
I oppose the redefinition of marriage, absolutely right. That doesn't mean that we denigrate those who believe in having homosexual relations. Indeed we have, as indeed the rest of the United Kingdom have before they decided to go down the road of redefining marriage, civil partnerships, to recognise that loving relationship, and that will continue to be the case.
It's the DUP's stance on this and its opposition to liberalising Northern Ireland's strict abortion laws which has caused such alarm in some circles. Some fear the DUP trying to inject its brand of social conservatism into Theresa May's agenda. But that, say the DUP, won't happen.
A senior figure in the DUP told me today that issues like same-sex marriage and abortion legislation simply wouldn't feature in any talks with Number 10. They're devolved issues, he said, and so wouldn't be relevant. He also made clear that for the same reason, the party wouldn't think it appropriate for Theresa May to raise such matters with them.
Ulster shall remain firm to the very end.
For a party whose founder threaded his religion through hardline politics seamlessly, the combination still appeals to many.
I support them totally. I don't support that gay stuff at all. No. We're bleeding right-wing Bible stuff. You have to go back to Christian beliefs. Simple.
But this afternoon we met plenty of DUP voters who took a different view, that their party's social policies were anachronistic.
I do sort of feel that the DUP sort of are living a wee bit in the back ages, like in the dark ages, and I think that they sort of need to come into sort of like 2017 and sort of change their ways a wee bit that way.
A view echoed more directly by this young Ulster Unionist voter.
A lot of the English probably don't know a lot about them, to be honest. Don't know what they stand for, so maybe if they realised how backward they are, they wouldn't agree with them being in government now.
But the party is changing, say some close observers. A broad church, but less influenced by it. Increasingly secular, more mainstream.
When it comes to issues like gay marriage, while they still firmly oppose that, their language has markedly moderated. And I think for some people in the party who are seeking to reform it from within, they will see this arrangement with the Conservative Party as an excuse, as an opportunity for them to further change those issues.
It's an area attracting much attention right now, to the unease seemingly of many Tories. But in the talks we're told it will be other matters like Brexit, pensions, policing, which will feature. And then there's Stormont, and talks here to try to resurrect the Assembly. The road ahead for the DUP ever delicate, but this time being scrutinised far and wide.
Andy Davis.
I've been getting